Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steve and Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson to sign up. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're going to be responding and reacting to your pro wrestling hot takes. You guys got a bunch of them now that we're officially on the road to Wrestlemania with a brief layover in Elimination Chamberville. First
Toronto.
up, From Toronto. That's where Elimination Chamberville is.
At the Rogers Center, formerly known as the Skydome.
Roger. Canaldo Bruno here says, Jey versus Cody should be the match at Mania, and Gunther versus Cena, the other match at Mania. We're talking about championship title matches. Do you think Jey Uso would be better served taking on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania?
You know, I kind of feel like to give us time as an audience to digest the possibility of Jey versus Cody, they shouldn't have had Gunther come out and pretty much belittle Jey and say, if you choose me, I'll make your life a living hell. Because at this point, if Jey goes to SmackDown and chooses Cody, at least subtextually, I get it. Cody's got the top prize. It says undisputed on it. You want to go after the top prize. But given what Gunther had to say on Raw, it kind of looks like Jey's running away from Gunther. Don't want that.
Yeah, you're right. And here's the thing about the top prize. Punk has come the closest towards outright saying it's the top prize. It's never really acknowledged. Steve, what?
It literally says undisputed on it. It's the top prize.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing.
Cody beat Gunther at Crown Jewel. It's the top prize.
I'm saying within the context of the wrestlers, nobody has said, I'd rather go for that one because this one is in the mid-card. They're not going to do that.
No.
So I like the fact that Jey Uso, when he was in the lead-up on the go-home to the Rumble, I like the fact that he directly said the World Heavyweight Championship. He's got the story with Gunther. And there's no way he can go to SmackDown and say, I'd rather take you on, Cody, because it's the top prize. That's not a story. That can't be a story because it completely devalues the Gunther title far more than it already has been devalued, which, by the way, is a lot.
It's a ton.
You need people to prize that title for it to hold any meaning. And on top of that, he got his ass whooped in a really good in-ring match against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. And I understand that's the reason, or that's one of the reasons why people are like, dude, we've seen this ad nauseum already. And honestly, I do think that I don't know how far back this goes in terms of what the plan was, but I feel like they've done a little bit of a disservice to it being Gunther that Jey is going to target. If they knew about this, let's say back in October, I feel like there should have been, instead of one feud for Saturday night's main event, which lasted all of 3 weeks maybe, there needed to be more of a thread, more of a through line from Jey, like there was with Sammy. I feel like with Sammy, there was kind of a through line to get him to Gunther, to dethrone him. And I just think that story could have been better. But yeah, Gunther versus Cena, I think would be a hell of a match. I think, look, Gunther versus anybody's going to be a hell of a match for the most part. Now, Jey versus Cody, there's a lot of ground they could cover in terms of story.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Someone else, there was a lot of hot takes regarding who Jey should face at WrestleMania. So I didn't put them all on here. But one of them mentions what you just mentioned, that there is a lot there, specifically how Cody feels like all the Cody Vengers who helped him win the title kind of one by one are estranged for various reasons from him. And if Jay goes to SmackDown, says to Cody, I want that, that's a wedge between them. And that's another friendship in Cody's mind that's potentially over because of this darn title that he coveted, he wanted for so long.
There's another hot take here from Psycho Crusher along the same lines that says Jay should challenge Cody at WrestleMania and win just so he can show Roman he could be tribal chief. Again, I feel like they need for, like, I get it. That's the title that Roman lost to Cody. And if Jay beats the guy that beat Roman, then a lot of good stuff there. But so there, look, and here's the thing: you can tell that story. Like that's a reason. That's a reasoning that I think kind of trumps Gunther. Is Jay could say, look, I don't appreciate you disrespecting me, but I'm just adding your name to the list of people I'm going to prove wrong once I get the title. But the reason why I'm going to get the Cody title is because Cody beat Roman, and that's what I need to do. I need to beat the guy that beat Roman. But Jay's also on good terms with Roman right now.
Yeah, I
so
don't know
how
why.
do you get there?
Yeah, I know. So I kind of feel like they should have held off maybe on the Gunther stuff, like have Jay show up, be like, hey, I'm going to go to SmackDown, talk to Cody, work this all out. Jay goes to SmackDown, talks to Cody, still kind of up in the air. Next week on Raw, that's when Gunther comes out and lays it down,
Or Gunther can kind of like play, kind of play possum a little bit, kind of be like, just sort of hang back and be like, make a good decision. He could talk up Jay thinking that he's going to manipulate him into sending him to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then when Jay comes back and he's like, you know what, man, you're the mountain that I want to climb. And it's right here on Raw and Netflix, because that's where this title belongs. And then that's when Gunther unleashes the violence on him and says, you know what? Everything I said last week, it was all lip service because I was trying to get you out because you are not the competitor I want. That was one thing I really liked about Gunther's thing is like, if I beat Roman, Punk, Seth, whatever, then that's something that's adding to my legacy. But I've already beat you. What does it do for me even if I do beat you? I like that. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly Jay, Cody, Roman, that whole legacy, that whole lore I could see definitely benefiting from Jay beating the guy that beat Roman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing, like they still have to have, if Jay wins the world championship and he's got the entire stadium eating with him when that happens, Roman still has to acknowledge that. And honestly, if they want to get super clever about things, you take this Jay Gunther thing and you wrap Roman into it along with Roman Punk. You wrap into it Cody and Cena can kind of be on an island, I guess. But you wrap maybe Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa's return. You can wrap a lot of stuff into this Jay Gunther stuff and elevate that entire scene even more. Some clever storytelling, but they were able to do it last year with Seth Rollins, brought him into it, the entire Codyverse, all that kind of shit. Yeah. So I think there's some interesting stuff that they can really do with the Gunther title. But either way they go, like Gunther Cena, yeah, I don't know.
Well, here, let's get to this next one, because Grown Up Kid says, Jay needs the Cody belt more than Cena does, and the World Heavyweight Championship needs Cena more than it needs Jay. It'd be way more interesting to see Jay do what Roman couldn't than Jay winning the B title, plus there's more options with Jay winning that belt. I will say this. If you have Gunther versus Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship at Mania and Gunther wins, that helps the World Heavyweight Championship. It helps elevate that champion because Gunther beats Cena.
I feel like Cena needs to get some wins first. Like that whole thing is like everybody beats him now.
Yeah, but still, it's John Cena, greatest of all time, says WWE.
I feel like you'd be right if if Gunther wins the world title off of John Cena after he's already won it.
Between in the two appearances, Cena would have to win an Elimination Chamber. That's a win.
That's a win.
And he'll probably go shoot another movie after winning.
Yeah.
Come back at some point, have a match on Raw, win that. Probably against Ludwig Kaiser. face Gunther at Mania.
Yeah, nope. Took a detour there. Got to be Punk. Not going to be Punk, but it's got to be Punk.
And then in a hard-fought battle, loses to Gunther at WrestleMania. Again, one of those similar to the story that we were thinking with Cody, where he faces Cody, comes up short, but in defeat still realizes, I got it still.
Yeah,
more reps. I need more wins.
I mean, honestly, it's all in the match, I guess. Like if they put on a match where Cena's like, "Oh my God, I almost won this," maybe, but man, that dude's lost a lot. He got murdered by Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, imagine in a match against Gunther, just how it's got a hamburger chest from
that'd
Gunther.
Be great. Jay needs the Cody belt more than Cena does, and the World Heavyweight Championship needs Cena more. See, here's the thing, though.
It's a catch-22 to a degree with the World Heavyweight title.
It is. It's an MPY.
Because if you want to elevate that title, you have to do two things. Top-line main event opponents, main eventing show, specifically premium live events.
I think that has to... Here's the thing, though. That needs to precede Cena's specific story. Cena's got to go for something that's on par with the top title. He cannot go for the mid-card title, win the mid-card title, and it's like, well, yeah, big deal.
How many times, though, in the past has Cena won the mid-card title and then by winning it makes it the top title?
I don't know. He's won that title a lot of times. 16
so
times specifically.
I'm guessing at least a quarter of those times he took the title that was a lesser than two titles and elevated to top title because he had it.
All that stuff happened more than what? What did he say? It was 2,000 days he's gone without a win? Something like that.
He's going to win an Elimination Chamber. How about this? Elimination Chamber, he pins everybody.
Okay, if Cena turns into Super Cena, stacks everybody and eliminates everybody in one fell swoop, yeah, that would do it.
There you go.
That would do it. That would do it.
That's the story then.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
All right, we got one more Jey Uso hot take here from Call Me Gus. Says Jey should main event night 2 of Mania to cement him as a star while helping legitimize the world title. So we'll talk about the World Heavyweight Championship. Plus, it'd be awesome to see Mania ending with a sea of people yeeting.
Man.
So let's think of a realistic scenario where this could happen, where Gunther versus Jey main events all of WrestleMania.
Oh, man. Yeah. Cody tears another pec. It's literally if Cody goes away. That's the only way it'll happen.
Let me ask you this. If they decide on, let's say, Cody versus Drew for the undisputed title. Main eventing night 1. Punk Roman on the undercard. I don't know who Seth would wrestle.
It's Penta.
Sure. Sorry, Seth. Like, there's probably a way you could maneuver the card.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy because the only person I feel like they can give a solid... Dude, how long was his entrance last night on Raw? We're filming this on Tuesday.
Oh, Jay? I mean, it took a long time.
5 solid, right?
Oh, probably. Being from the concourse to the ring to when he started actually talking, it was probably closer to 8.
Okay, yeah, I'd say even closer to 10. Who else can do that? With that level. Do you know how hard, like, how many out of shape people do you see in that arena? And hey, I'm including myself. Doing this for 10 solid minutes?
Yeah.
I saw some people struggling, but they were doing it.
A lot of people in there sweating.
Not a lot of people. I'm saying this. I'm not even sure Punk could get people for 10 minutes straight to do some fucking exercises during their entrance. That's how much people love Jey, and yet still we're here debating whether or not he could main event night 2 if Cody's not involved.
Oh, here's the thing. I think we're even debating whether you can main event night 1. And that's not a...
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, one thing is that the WWE roster is loaded with talent.
It's loaded.
And regardless who challenges Cody for the undisputed title, which will probably main event night 2, if it's Cena, if it's Roman, if it's Punk, then whoever isn't challenging Cody is going to be in a high-profile match of their own, most of which could main event night 1, like Punk Roman.
You know what it is?
Rollins Reigns. That could main event night one.
Imagine, if you will, WrestleMania 30, they were doing 2-night WrestleManias.
Yeah.
We'd be sitting here debating which night, if at all, Daniel Bryan would main event.
I don't know about that. Because what else in that card would have been a consideration for the main event if not that? Would it be Lesnar and Undertaker?
Well, look. Well, yeah. But also, WWE wasn't nearly as loaded as it is now.
No.
They did not have what they have now.
No.
But I do feel like if it was like Triple H Batista, it's like clearly they're going to main event night 2. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's one of those situations.
And then they did that match, and it was a mid-card match a few years later.
Yeah, right. I know, yeah. But, like, you look at Jey Uso, and I think is part of it, like, man, creative isn't fully behind this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like Daniel Bryan's like, I'll believe that when I see it. Now, once he did the sit-in and Triple H had accepted, oh, they'll do Triple H first, we all knew,
yeah, at that point, yeah.
He's going to win everything. He's going to win everything.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like a similar situation where it's like, man, creative, I think, is behind this guy. He's had the longest character arc. And maybe it's because he has lost so many of the big ones. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. It is a lot of it. And it's just, it is the positioning of the titles. If it was Jey clearly going after Cody's title, I think there'd be no question. Oh, that's a strong candidate to main event at least night one, if not all of WrestleMania. I think it's a combination of Jey losing a lot, coming up short in huge matches, the World Heavyweight Championship not being anywhere near the same level as the Undisputed title, plus the depth of the roster, where you could probably think of 4 matches easily, I would guess, that could, without a doubt, main event night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then if you add potentially Charlotte Rhea to that, Bianca Rhea, and the possibility of none of those matches, including Jey Uso. I would love to see Jey main event the whole thing. I think it would be a great kind of punctuation of this story they're telling with him. And obviously the clearest path to get there would be the match against Cody, because Cody's the top guy. And if they can construct and build and tell a story with Gunther that gets the crowd invested more than they are now, I suppose it's possible. But again, given all those circumstances, it's kind of, I'll believe it when I see it.
Here's the thing too. I have no idea how many Raws and SmackDowns, how many SmackDowns John Cena is contracted for between now and Mania. I guess between Elimination Chamber and Mania.
Yeah.
But if it's not a lot, that road for Cody is going to be tepid as fuck.
You get it. They run the risk of an Edge Roman Reigns situation.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, but come on, there's no Edge in this situation. Look, they can make it a big match based off of Cena's name value and the title. And plus, on top of that, like, they're both good guys. Do you even need that much of a build? But conversely, if Gunther really is presented as the final boss, the way he was presented on Raw, talking about supreme violence, man, that feud can get hot. Mm-hmm. Super hot. Mm-hmm. And at which case, could they force their way in? Because Cena's never... But it's the fucking record and it's the Cody title. That's the two biggest things. It's the record and it's the Cody title.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like a big, I don't know. Gunther is going to lose. Cena, Cody, I don't know what's going to happen there. Because Cena's got the rest of the year to get that number 17. And that might be a story they want to
absolutely.
milk.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I'm feeling. What I'm thinking is that he'll lose his first, if it's him and Cody at Mania, he'll lose. But again, be like, all right, well, I tested myself against the best and I just came up a little bit short. I know I can do it. I'm going to do it. And then that's the story for the rest of the year. Yeah.
Let's say Jey chooses Gunther.
Sure.
Is there any Cody participant that could come out of Cody opponent that comes out of the chamber that it would be like, this shouldn't main event?
Logan Paul.
That was absolutely. What about Cody versus Rey Mysterio?
I would think Jey Gunther would main event over that.
Cody Finn Balor.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Cody Seth Rollins.
We've seen it.
Oh, a bunch. Oh, my God.
Guess what? It'd be another L for Seth. Sorry, Seth, So now.
Cody Punk would, that
probably main event night, too.
Fucking blow the roof off the place. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What happens if let me ask this. What happens if Jey, when they explore this, what if Jey hems and haws until like after the chamber on who to choose?
And like Cena wins and then picks Cody?
Well, no. Does Cena have to wait for Jey? Cena's
yeah,
you'd
think so.
Right?
You'd think so. Then the whole thing with the Rumble is you pick who you face at WrestleMania.
It's funny because I've noticed over the past 2 years, I think now, that's just been the default, right? Because last year, Roman was the undisputed champion. So the Royal Rumble winner was already chosen. So they did a U.S. title elimination chamber for the guys. The women did get the other title contendership.
Let me ask you this. I don't think this ever happened, but there was a whole spell I really wasn't watching wrestling where the Rumble winner picks, say this instance, Jey says, I want you, Cody.
Okay.
Does that automatically disqualify Cody as an option for the chamber winner then?
Yeah.
Like if Cena won the chamber, it's like, I want Cody too.
Okay. So Cena won the Rumble in 2008.
Yeah.
He declined a Mania spot against Orton and instead wanted it the following pay-per-view, whatever that was. Some dog shit B-level pay-per-view.
And he won it.
By DQ, Orton slapped the ref to get out of the match.
Yeah.
He DQ'd himself. Meanwhile, dipshit wins the chamber, the game. Wins the chamber, and they triple threaded that shit at Mania that year. So it's possible to do a triple threat.
It's possible.
Oh, man. Before we continue on, Larson, we got a couple sponsors for the show today.
We do. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Pick 6. Steve, Super Bowl 59 is nearly here, which means the NFL season is almost over. But it also means that this is your last chance to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else.
That's right, Larson, and it's super easy to get started with Pick 6. All you got to do is select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a particular stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And check this out. DraftKings is now making it even sweeter for first-time players. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $59 in Pick 6 credits.
So win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code RAW. That's code RAW for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crowd is yours.
And here's some disclosures from DraftKings Pick 6.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
And we also have another sponsor for the show today.
We do. And this episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, Steve, we so often hear about red flags that we should avoid in our relationship. And it's obviously important to be on the lookout for them, whether you're dating, married, building a new friendship, or just working on yourself.
That's right. But it's also important to appreciate the green flags and the positive relationships in your life. And if you're having trouble identifying them, therapy can help you actively find these green flags in your relationships. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try.
You know, I've spoken extensively about how therapy helped me when I was dealing with severe anxiety in my mid-20s. But 20 years ago, going to therapy involved getting in the car and driving to the therapist's office. But BetterHelp is completely online, making therapy convenient and affordable. With BetterHelp, you have access to a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties, and you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost.
So discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. All right, man, our next hot take. Our next green flag. Our next hot take is brought to you by Alexander Ball. Says, regardless if it's a work or shoot, these hissy fits Drew has, where he storms out of the arena after an event, make him look more like a backstage diva than anything else.
So, I speculation time regarding the CM Punk one, where at War Games, not this last one, the year prior when Punk returned, I don't doubt that Drew was upset about it. That being said, they took that truth and used it for a story. And so I think the idea that that stuff got out was because, that's stuff we can use for story fodder down the line. For the Rumble, it just seemed like something that apparently happened in the ring. He was upset about it. And the way it was reported seemed somewhat blown out of proportion based on what actually happened. Where it was a mistiming for LA Knight and Logan Paul's interaction in the ring. Drew was supposed to be eliminated before that. Timing was off. It upset him. He probably got it out of his system and moved on.
So the wild thing about the reporting on that, because not only did it come from Meltzer, Fightful, PW Insider, they all had something similar. And the thing that's crazy about it, I did like a WrestleJuice kind of breakdown earlier this week where I looked at the actual like Rumble itself and everything from LA Knight's entrance. And like the weird thing about it is that like multiple talent, not just Drew, but multiple talent, apparently we're on the same page feeling that LA Knight went into business for himself, which is weird because when you actually look at what LA Knight was doing, it really was not too abnormal. There was the obvious. So like, I think Fightful had that Drew and Priest, their spot where Drew gets eliminated was supposed to happen before Logan Paul comes out, which is weird to me because they were setting that up, or they were starting to get that started when Logan Paul comes down, and then it turns into a Logan Paul show. Yep. Where he's preening to the crowd endlessly. LA Knight's waiting for him to stop so that he can do his stuff with Logan Paul. And as right before Logan Paul and LA Knight do their stuff, that's when Drew and Jay and Priest all do their thing. And so they kind of run into each other. Here's where I sort of stand on that aspect of it. There is something that if we asked our wrestler friends, if they were to look at it, they'd probably be able to say it was this. It was whatever it is, but it's foreign to us. We don't know what the deal is because LA Knight just looks like he's doing what everybody else is doing. He's coming out, he's popular, he gets some shit in, but it didn't look like he was going overboard. But a seasoned wrestler would probably be like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to do this, this, and this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Could be.
That's my guess.
Yeah, and it's probably more in the intricacies of the timing and layout of the Rumble as opposed to, huge over-the-top things. Yeah.
That's what I would imagine. Yeah. Now, and it was reported that Drew came backstage cursing about somebody getting their shit in. Apparently it's LA Knight. We don't know what his tone was, what the context was, but more importantly, the thing about Drew McIntyre, especially now he's going to SmackDown where LA Knight is, I'll be honest with you, man. I think that when Drew McIntyre went bad guy, you just realize that there are sources everywhere watching your every move. I think this dude just stays in character. That's my guess. And him storming out, making a scene, I think that's him just playing up Drew McIntyre. I don't think anybody knows what's going on inside the dude's mind or heart. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that he probably stays in character the entire time because he knows that everybody's watching, everybody's got phones, everybody's got cameras. And how do you think he ended up with the CM Punk feud? Has do you think he ended up being promo of the year, wrestler of the year, character of the year, personality of the year last year from us and everybody else? Mm-hmm. It's because the dude has that old school mentality, which surprising, it works in certain situations. And I think he's just made it work for himself. And maybe he just knew, hey, if I go backstage and I kick up a fit, it's going to get out. People are going to want to know what he does next. Mm-hmm. Because now when he goes to SmackDown, everybody's going to be like, what is he going to say now? Is he going to reference this? All the nerds like us who pay attention to Fightful Select and Meltzer and all them, they're all going to be like, what is Drew going to say next? And I think he makes that stuff work for him.
Oh, he
whether
does,
or not he's actually upset, whether or not he was pissed off. I mean, look, these guys were in the Rising together, a very popular faction with Tongaloa.
Yeah.
I find it difficult to believe he'd be too upset with his brethren.
Maybe. And maybe it's not necessarily a thing where going backstage is premeditated, where he's like, I'm going to go backstage and kick up a fit so that it gets picked up. Or it could be a situation where maybe there's some genuine disgruntlement on his part. He sees it's getting picked up and like, I can run with this now.
That could be as well, And it's like sometimes if there's a fuck up or whatever, which clearly them bumping into each other should have happened.
Yeah.
You go backstage, God damn it. Whatever. They're not children. They're grown-ass men.
Yeah.
And they want to throw some shit. But we all want to think, oh, they're all a big, happy family. And there's no reason why they can't be. And at the same time, be annoyed that somebody was not in the spot that they should have been in, whatever it is.
The timing was off. And it's people are frustrated. They're going to express their frustration.
Yeah, but Drew McIntyre, dude, I think he is brilliant at using that stuff. I would be shocked if when CM Punk came in, Drew McIntyre's lone thought wasn't, God damn, we can make some money there. Mm-hmm. And if he acts a fool, I don't think people are going to tolerate that. So it's a YP. You know what I mean? Like, what do I care if he acts a fool? He'll just be gone. Mm-hmm. It'd be weird to think any other way, But then again, none of us know what's going on inside the dude's head. He's going to work them sheets as much as he can.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll eat it up, Larson. We'll eat it up.
We will. We will.
Oliver Wells, 1776, has a hot take. And he says, we need to talk about Triple H's booking of black men. Only one black male wrestler was in the Rumble. He didn't even make it 7 minutes, and he was eliminated first. The only other black male in the match was ISHO Speed, and he didn't even last a minute. Yeah, this is a sentiment that we've heard for a while now. And Triple H responded to this in a way that that I found to be a bit boomerish. Very
much so, yeah.
In the press conference when he says, I don't see color when I just see talent. And I was kind of surprised that more people didn't. And I understand everybody likes Triple H. I'm a Triple H guy. I'm a well-known Triple H guy. My favorite Survivor Series.
30 years.
My favorite Survivor Series was Survivor Series 2017 when he turned it into a mockery for Triple H, for himself.
Pretty much as long as I've known Steve watch pro wrestling, Triple H has been one of his favorite wrestlers.
That was the most boomer shit. I don't see color. When people say, the fuck? Like, I don't know. I hesitate to get too deep into that mentality because that opens up a lot of, I'll put it this way. For me to open up that type of discussion warrants a much longer conversation. And I feel like me trying to open up that conversation here would not do it justice that it kind of deserves. I will simply say, I look forward to watching the WWE in 5 years where he's going to kind of have not much of a choice, but because NXT right now has a lot of diversity there, a lot of wonderful talent. And I'm just going to hope that he's going to keep to his word and see the talent that's in front of him and book them accordingly, because a lot of diversity is on the way.
Yeah.
And I just think from a business perspective, simply from a business perspective, it makes sense to book a diverse cast of characters. It really does. And, you know, I understand that you're dealt a certain hand coming into this, but buddy, it's wrestling. You fucking write them better. That's what you do. That you bring up some people from NXT, you write them to be strong characters, and then you got what a lot of people want to see. You know, you got when you hear like little kids or whatever, or you see the celebrations around Kofi Mania, you're opening your audience up. I'll say this one last thing, and I'll let you talk. But it's something that just bothers. What do people bitch about endlessly when it comes to WWE choosing their opening intro theme songs?
Yeah.
It's all rap music.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's relevant. It's music that's part of the zeitgeist now. There's so many people in the comments, where's the rock music? Where's the metal?
Right.
Metal hasn't been relevant or important on a mainstream sense for a very long time.
So you are going to use predominantly black culture to promote your show, where in the men's division, at least, you're not prominently featuring acts that reflect that culture. That to me is disingenuous.
Agreed, 1,000%.
So I do think that it is something that was handled, that was commented on dishonestly. And I get people love Triple H and they want to say, oh yeah, we should all be colorblind. Well, until racism's been solved, people. And that is not a grown-up mentality. That is simply kind of a bullshit mentality to have.
It is a bullshit mentality. You mentioned Kofi Mania, and when I was putting the notes together here, I got to thinking about Sasha and Bianca main eventing night 1. Is it Mania 37?
7, yeah, I think so.
37.
Yeah.
And you see the emotion on their faces and how much it matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to only have Carmelo Hayes in the Rumble, they brought Emotes back from Japan. Why?
Well, dude, they drafted Carmelo number 1. Why isn't he being given the Kevin Owens treatment at this point?
I know.
You know, like,
I know.
Dude came up, U.S. champion, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
Carmelo is on the fast track to be the next late stage Dolph Ziggler. Without it, like the Intercontinental Championship,
US bypass all the single success of Intercontinental Champion, World Champion. Yeah, he's the dude they put in the ring against people that when they want a good match.
Right, right. Yeah, it's crazy, and yeah, I do think that with names like Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans on the horizon, I think, and you know, we'll see at that point. And I'll be honest with you, I do think that once, and because we see it with the women's division, Bianca is the new Cena. I think once that talent comes up, then we'll probably see a little bit more, you know, he'll be booking people a little bit better.
I hope so. But like you said, this is scripted entertainment. There's no reason he can't be doing that now.
I know, but the other thing about him, and not to defend it, but he takes his damn fucking time with everything. He takes his damn sweet time.
How many start and stop pushes and storylines have the Street Profits been involved in, for example?
Dude, don't even, yeah. Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, how does somebody have an opportunity to re-sign Bobby Lashley and say, nah, we're not going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the talent has been there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You know, wherever the failing is on the creative side of things, I don't know. But you can't point to a lack of talent to explain this.
Yeah.
The talent has been there and is there now.
Yeah. 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 I know. I think, like, I kind of understand. I'll put it this way. I think I get the philosophy, even if I really don't agree with the philosophy, because I do think that it's wrestling. You just do it. His philosophy does not seem to be that. It seems to be like, I don't know. The Carmelo thing is absolutely astonishing to me. It's crazy because he's sort of going down the path at this point of like maybe Austin Theory. It's like, dude, come on. The guy's got everything. Look at how you treat him in NXT, or look at how HBK did in NXT.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you drafted him number 1 at SmackDown. That was you, Triple H. You did that.
Yeah.
So, like, make good on it, buddy.
Well, yeah, when that happens, there's expectations involved there, too.
Yeah. But you can't do the thing where you're exploiting black culture to promote your product. And then Carmelo Hayes I thought he was going to be the Iron Man. I'm like, this guy needs something.
Yeah.
He needs something, man.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll change at some point. But when, as Triple H says, WWE's on fire, if you're not forcing to do something, why are you going to do it? Anyways, next hot take is from Bucket Dipper. Bucket Dipper says, Triple H's continued lack of opportunities for black wrestlers, primarily male wrestlers, will come back to bite him during contract negotiations with said talent. Just this weekend, Carmelo Hayes was the only black wrestler in the men's rumble. Do you think that that's going to be a problem re-signing or obtaining talent?
I mean, the possibility exists, just with, given what MVP said. I mean, it seemed like he was not interested in re-signing with WWE given whatever creative or lack thereof was laid out to him. I at least recently, he might be the only one who's necessarily spoken on that. But, he has spoken on it, and I don't know what the sentiment is otherwise. But, you mentioned earlier from a business perspective. And this is one way where not booking your black men wrestlers to their fullest potential, like we see with Carmelo, could eventually come back to from the business side of things, kind of bite you.
The main reason why I hesitate to think that it will is two things. Number one, WWE is hot right now, and when you look at NXT, there is reason to be optimistic for the future. If you're a black wrestler. Number two, competition ain't no better. Bobby Lashley came in, and I would say that my personal opinion is Bobby is an Edge plus talent.
Oh yeah.
Right. He was getting reactions in the end of WWE way bigger than Edge.
Yeah.
Right? He has not been given the Adam Copeland treatment in AEW.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin, who you and I both love Shelton in terms of his star power, maybe was not an Edge plus guy. Definitely wasn't. And I like how they booked him.
Yeah, I think Shelton's booking in AEW was way better than what they were doing with him in WWE.
I agree with that, but it's not like they shot him to the moon. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think, and you can appreciate that Swerve has broken through there in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
But as it usually is, Swerve he had to have had A++ level creativity in order to get where other guys who don't quite have that are.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the competition is going to offer much more. They'll simply offer a much smaller platform. And much like if you look at Carmelo Hayes, I'm still optimistic about his future there. I really am. I do not think for a second that if he jumped ship, if his contract was up today and went to AEW, I think he would be lost in the shuffle. I do. So that's the other thing. It's what I was saying before: internal leverage and external leverage.
Yeah,
not a lot of external leverage.
No, there's not. Another example: Private Party.
Oh my God! Don't even.
Where they had the story about them winning the tag titles as soon as they won those titles. It was like nothing changed about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had the titles for a few weeks and then dropped into the Her Syndicate.
Yeah.
Like, where's the continuation of their story past we're champions now? How did their interactions with Death Riders change them? How does that pep talk from Amazing Red change them?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't? All right, then where's the story?
Yeah. Yeah. Zondo here with a hot take says, Punk asking to fight Roman as the favor is silly and it makes no character sense. I will go one further and say that's super lazy if that's going to be the favor. If Punk can't get shit done and he's like, well, I got this favor in my back pocket. How about a Roman Reigns match? You didn't earn that. You earned it, back in November at War Games? Nobody remembers that. I think it's incredibly lazy, and the favor needs to be something much more interesting.
Like what?
Paul, I hear you have a killer recipe for veggie lasagna that you won't give to anybody. I need it.
You think that'd be more interesting than the potential night one main event of WrestleMania?
Cooking with Punk? Yeah, man. That'd be great.
So I don't disagree. It's not the most compelling way to book a match between Punk and Roman, given Punk's relationship with Heyman. Roman's relationship with Heyman. It seems like if neither of them are going to be in a title feud going into Mania, there's a way you can book this match without having to have the kind of favor in Punk's back pocket.
It's got to be something. Now, the favor could end up being a stipulation of sorts, which I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But the favor needs to be integral to the story, but the favor can't be the story because it's just lazy. You know, it's like, well, Punk should earn it. It needs to be something that Roman has that is super hard pressed to give up, that Punk can be like, well, I helped you. You need to help me. And remember, the favor is of Heyman, not Roman. So I don't know what that is.
What if the favor is the match against Roman? It's a match with Roman. A tag match.
For what? Okay, well, let's say that.
I don't know. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess let's say it's Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, Roman again, but that's if you set up that way where Roman has this tag match, which I don't know why Roman beat a tag match at WrestleMania, but let's roll with it. Then again, that's Roman calling in a favor for Punk, not vice versa.
Yeah. Man, oh man, dude, I legitimately don't know. Dude, I don't know. I'm so. And here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna. Dude, I don't know. It'll probably just be the match.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. It'll
just be.
But here's the thing. We'll get to more about some lazy storytelling as regards to the Bloodline reunion later on. Sometimes, yes, Triple H takes forever to tell his stories, and sometimes he's like, "Oh, people are gonna be so excited about the potential matchup that whatever." The rationale justification for it doesn't matter because once we have that inciting incident, so the story can take place, people will be into it. Mm-hmm. And regardless if there's some organic earned way for Punk to get this match, or he just asked Paul Heyman for it, once we get into it, it'll probably be good.
Yeah,
and people will not really care how the story started.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here's the thing. Punk and Heyman can promo the shit out of something stupid and silly. And I'll be like, oh my God, this is fucking great. Eating my popcorn, shoving it in my fat face. Oh man, this is great. Wow. Oh, no, it's a favor. Oh, it's a favor. It's going to be the match.
Yeah. You're like, hey, just, on the marketing for it, you got the Punk on one side and Roman on the other. The favor.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The whole marketing around the match is about this favor.
Fox of the Rock has a hot take. Says, given how much emphasis Cena's 17th title win has been flaunted, I wonder if WWE will do an always runner-up aspect in every contender match he's in. Wouldn't be surprised if he's failed at the Chamber and at Money in the Bank, then he becomes desperate near the end of the year.
Always the bridesmaid type thing.
Right, yeah.
Now, I don't expect Cena to win the 17th title at Mania. He might get the match. I mean, the whole thing about him getting number 17, whether he gets it or not, it's got to be the pursuit and the struggles he encounters trying to get it. That's why I feel like if he wins it at Mania, it's too easy. But then at a certain point, if he keeps losing, keeps coming up short, as mentioned earlier, after he's already been, 2,500 days without a win, at what point are we like, it's got no chance. It's wasting his time. Go after the Intercontinental title. You haven't won that before.
Yeah, right, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about the Rumble and the Chamber is those are multi-man matches where, yes, he does have to lose. He does have to get pinned. But there's so much stuff going on that if it's a mano-a-mano situation, it's not as severe him losing an Elimination Chamber or getting eliminated from the Rumble.
Yeah.
Same thing can be said about Money in the Bank. You just got to climb a ladder and grab it. So if he wins singles matches the entire time, but the problem is he's never around.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he's not going to wrestle on Raw or SmackDown on a regular enough basis, if at all, to string together some wins.
If they do, I mean, this is the one time where a championship eliminator match kind of works. It's like, hey, I've lost a bunch, but I can beat you. And Cody be like, no offense, John. You haven't beat me. You didn't beat me at WrestleMania. What makes you think you beat me now? And John be like, you're right. So I'll put this on the line. We'll cut my last rodeo short. If I beat you, I get another shot. If you beat me, I'm done for good. He beats Cody. Then it's like, oh shit, he beat Cody. Can he beat him twice now? Because like nobody could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then he beats him twice. And they do a specially themed pay-per-view. Do the Saudi instead of King of the Ring, do the last rodeo. They're stealing that from TNA, but they got a partnership now, so they can do that.
They can. But I mean, is there something a little more specific to Cena's presentation as opposed to rodeo? He's not a cowboy.
I don't know. A film reference. Close the gate. Cut. Action.
Well, the action's the start. Yeah.
And cut.
All right.
Check. No,
So,
what is it? Slate. No,
Slate.
Slate.
Slate. Yeah. Ryan's movie reviews here says if Sheamus doesn't become Intercontinental Champion by WrestleMania this year, he will probably never win that title. Oh, never's. I don't know about never. He still has not a lot of career, but some career in front of him.
It's a shameful thing. Gonna win at WrestleMania, or
But
he'll
like,
wind up dead. If he doesn't
will-
become Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania, he'll probably never win that title. Oh, I don't know. They could always write it. It's wrestling, you know. You can always
Scripted
write
entertainment.
it. Yeah, you can always write it.
Scripted entertainment.
So I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that either. Shane Canavan
Shane Canavan.
says the OG Bloodline reunion is one of the biggest ball drops that Triple H has run.
Mm-hmm.
There was endless potential with the reunion story, but what we got was a rush, force, and unearned reunion. No story was really told. 1 week, they were all of a sudden on the same page. Sammy asked Roman to apologize. He said no. They join anyways, have the match, they go their separate ways, and are just cool with each other, I guess. It makes Sammy giving Roman his hand, the Rumble, feel hollow because they never told a story to repair the relationship or told any story with the relationship. Really, in terms of potential, it was a huge letdown. Like mentioned during the Punk Favor bit. I think it was, we talked about this endlessly during this reunion, how it all felt. It felt rushed. It felt like it was getting by on the goodwill they had established with the Bloodline story prior. And people were excited about the moments because the moments were happening, not so much they felt earned or organic or natural as a result of the story they were telling. And we didn't know how much Jimmy's injury changed the timeline, because it did feel super rushed. Like within a month, they were all friends again, and everything was cool.
Yeah.
And the massive thing where Sammy says, hey, Roman, you got to apologize to Jay. Roman says no, and they all still go along with it. It's kind of a massive plot hole there. So I don't disagree with this, but again, people, I think in the end, we're like, all right, well, we're getting the reunion. The reunion itself is cool, so we'll roll with it. And just, as it is the most compelling story of building up to it, not really, but the moment was cool, so people will roll with it.
You know, dude, unfortunately, I think sometimes real life just gets in the way of cool shit. Who knows? Like, number one, Roman Reigns and his contract, his appearance schedule got in the way of things. Jimmy's injury got in the way of things. So, again, not going to make any excuses for my guy Triple H, but I feel like they probably did the best with what they had to work with. And we got Punk at the War Games, and that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, you know, one thing I appreciate is that they didn't belabor another Bloodline story. We didn't, you know, the original stuff was so goddamn good. I kind of respect they didn't try to just like tread over familiar ground. They were like, hey, who wants to hear Hotel California? You know, and so they gave Motel California. We don't need a deep cut from Glenn Fry
or new material. That's what you're saying.
We don't need new material at all, man. So yeah, I was good because here's the thing: what we got out of it was, after all that, who knows what Solo's going to do next? We got this cool Wolfpack bloodline going on right now with Jacob Fatu. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else gets to do their own thing and just do, you know. Who knows? Would Jey Uso be where he's at right now if he was wrapped up in another long bloodline story? You know.
Well, I think not. I don't think the issue is necessarily a long bloodline story following War Games. It's a more protracted reunion story preceding it.
Yeah, I get it. I know. I'm just saying, like
literally, if they just had an extra month.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Not 6.
You're right. You're, and I don't disagree. I think it could have been better. But at the end of the day, we got all the best stuff already. You know?
Oh, there could have been so much good stuff. So much more good stuff.
I think Triple H is like, you know what? WrestleMania, the story ended. That was it. And now we're going to have some
No, that's not what he says. He says the story never ends.
Well, that's what he talks about WWE, not necessarily the Bloodline itself. And the Bloodline story still continues because of Solo. But
because the story never ends, Steve.
Because that chapter, the story has chapters and chapters end. How are you going to move on to another chapter if you can't finish one chapter?
Do you think there's novels with no chapters in it?
Well, almost guarantee there's novels without chapters in them.
All right, fine. There's some stories, no chapters, just one long story.
Are there any novels that have that are just one long run-on sentence? Just one long sentence.
Maybe.
Yeah, who's that dude? The stream of consciousness guy, crazy guy?
James Joyce.
What?
James Joyce.
Was he a stream of consciousness guy?
He did, what is it, Ulysses? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I was thinking of the other dude. The Gonzo guy.
Hunter S. Thompson?
Was he stream of consciousness or no? He's just crazy.
No, not really, no.
Okay.
No.
He was just whacked out on drugs.
No, his stuff, I've only read Fear and Loathing, but it was pretty structured.
Okay. All right. That was it. That's the last one.
That's it.
Oh, man. No fun Steven Larson hot takes?
Someone said they agreed with you that John Mellencamp is mid, but I never really said John Mellencamp was great, so I don't know
What kind of revisionist bullshit is that, man?
No, I said I like 3 of his songs.
You said, as a young child, I braved the elements to walk to the local record store in
I don't think there's a record
Arizona.
store in the small town I listened to. Growing up in a small town, Steve.
By the way, Mr. Mellencamp aficionado, there's no song called Scarecrow. It's called like Rain on the Scarecrow or something like that.
Okay. See, I don't know that much about him.
And yet you were defending him as if he was family. Like
Well,
Mellencamp is your bloodline.
Not true. That is a good song, though. Did you listen to that song?
Yeah, I did. It all sounds the same. I listened to Authority song. It all sounds the same. And
Authority
it's
song's a
funny
good song.
because next to the video for Authority song, in the little recommendeds, there was Glory Days. And I was like, I'd rather listen to this shit. Give me Springsteen.
Yeah, I mean, Mellencamp is kind of Wish.com Springsteen. Yeah.
Well, no, you know what, dude? Honestly, I would never. That's not really true. But like, I don't want to dog anybody for enjoying what they enjoy. You've got good nostalgic memories from Mellencamp. I was merely saying he's not for me, and then you were trying to convince me otherwise.
I wasn't trying to convince you otherwise. I was just say, give him a chance.
And then when I saw a bunch of the other songs, I was like, oh, wait, he's like, I do know these songs, and I don't like any of them.
I only like 3. I only like those 3.
Authority song, the Scarecrow one, and what?
And when the walls come crumbling down, that might be what it's not actually called, but that's the chorus.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll give those 3 a try. But he's just not.
Well, you've already listened to 2 and you dumped on them, so don't even bother with the 3rd. Your mind's made up. Move on with your life.
See, look, I feel like that's some hostility because you're number 1 Mellencamp fan.
I'm not.
You are John Cougar Mellon fan. That's going to do it for the show today. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk.
I literally just called him Wish.com Springsteen. Yeah, I'm
I know, and I know that hurts inside. I know you have to go and wash your mouth out now.